May I come in, sir?
Please.
Please have your seat.
Good morning, sir.
So, good morning, Tapati. Raj, how are you today?
I am very fine, sir.
Why are
Thank
you very fine? Why do you feel very fine today? Tell me.
Because I'm looking forward to such interview, so I'm just,
Very good. So, tell us something about yourself.
yes, sir. As you know, myself, Tapati Raj. I belong to Cuttack district. I am a pharmacy graduate. I have done my schooling from my hometown. Post that, I did my intermediate in science from Kalinga Bharati Residential College here in Cuttack itself. After that, I pursued a Bachelor of Pharmacy in Roland Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Berhampur, Ganjam. Then immediately after my pharmacy, I had joined a service in pharmacovigilance domain. I worked there for around 4.5 years, and then I started
Took a break, a sabbatical,
uh,
and preparing for exams.
after getting into the prelims, and then I took sabbatical. So this is my first attempt. I consider myself a very hardworking and determined woman, and I'm looking forward to today's interview.
Excellent. We're very happy to meet with you, Tapati. So,
Thank you, sir.
you have very good academic credentials, and you also are good in your sports and cycling, marathon. Then you're good at, from your biodata, on speaking, debating. So, let me ask you, you are in the pharmacovigilance sector, and you know what's happening across the world in terms of pushing molecules into the throats of people. So, how would you say, after working for 4.5 years in this sector, possibly you are in the research area?
I was into patient safety. We process the data which we get from R&D. I'm into patient safety.
Okay, excellent. But you still will have feelings about molecules and being, the kind of billions of dollars that are being pushed into the research and training. Then the need for actually converting that into a commercially viable product.
Yes, sir.
Is there an ethical dilemma that you have felt?
No, sir, I do not feel there is no ethical dilemma because we live for good health, and medicine and producing the clinical trial and going into the $1 billion, it has its role to play when after a post-marketed product having its effect on the human society.
Okay, India has 1.3 billion people, and we would have started off somewhere with one person, maybe two persons, and in the last 300 years only modern medicine has come into being, and your molecules,
yes,
and stuff like that. So we have had a huge tradition of Indian medicine, Ayush, as you know.
Yes, sir.
So can you throw some light on it vis-a-vis what you are doing?
Yes, sir. So I completely agree with your statement that traditional medicine has been India's strong point. As you mentioned, Ayush, we have such Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. And so regarding current modern allopathic medicines, and when I compare allopathy and the existing traditional medicine, both has its own significance. And current trend, if I say, I can see very recently we have this traditional medicinal conclave which occurred in India, hosted that, and many global countries have initiated. They have already, all the Caribbean and the Southeast Asian countries have already shown their interest, and we are doing a lot of research, and so that at par with allopathic we can push our traditional system, and it has in the efficacy. And I'm just saying it just need more investment purpose compared to allopathy. There is somehow people have this. We live in an era where we are lacking some faith in the traditional medicine. That's why the marketing, the investment that is into the less par. So the current government is already doing a lot of things for that. So time will come and it will have its own impact.
Good, ma'am.
Okay, Tapati, what's the meaning about your name?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. The word comes from the tapaha plus atihe. It's a Sanskrit word. As my mother's name is Sabita, which is synonymous to God's son. So the daughter of sun in Sanskrit is known as Tapati. A lot of fire inside.
So that means you will ignite.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. You actually you have studied in Kalinga Bharati. And why Odisha is also called as that, Kalinga in that traditional name or historical name. What's the history behind it?
It is the Kalinga War that I can remember. The great Samrat Asoka fought it, and from there it has been. Before that, it was that time, ancient time, when the Mauryans started to invade Odisha. It was known as Kalinga. Uh, for exactly the naming why it is known as, I'll maybe I'm not currently aware
No,
of
no,
it.
no. Actually, Kalinga again it is reformed as Odisha.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when?
When
Huh.
after Mauryan invasion and after Ashoka's period, later part it when the undivided Utkal Pradesh was there, and before that the exact era and the year I'm unable to recall, but after that with the progressive state the name has been changed and finally it is Odisha.
Okay. So you are one pharmacy, for pharmaceutical students. And then actually why you are prompted to take geography and the home science as your subject?
Yes, ma'am. I was expecting this question. The very first reason is in civil service option, there is no pharmacy as a option. And second, I started this journey with a UPSC when I have to choose one optional, that is doing geography, because I went through all the possible optionals available, and geography was always I was very good at in school, and I was the subject syllabus I saw, there is a lot of mappings, there's everything inside geography. So geography is one subject which is very close to my heart. It encompasses everything, the population, the economy, the travel part. I love to travel. And it was very fascinating. It was very mark fetching. I had already an interest, so I thought if I'll put hard work in it, I'll get a good score. And about home science, again, as I've already taken a very technical and vast subject as geography, I realize home science, like the syllabus, the food and nutrition, the biochemical part, it has a lot of coincidence with my pharmacy subject. So that would be very easy for me. And plus that, it has its own significance as a home. I may not get another opportunity apart from the civil service preparation to go into the home science syllabus, which is a lot of domain to know as a lady. And
Okay,
that.
so in what way actually it will add value in your civil service? Suppose if you will be that, administrative officer in future.
Yes, ma'am. Home science is a holistic subject. There is a misconception. Our society think it is a subject for the ladies or the homemaker, but it is not. I went through the syllabus and I am my own example. It has vast. It has time management. It has money management. The entire budgetary. It has the child nutrition. It has the society part as a community development. It has all other aspects like the marriage, the divorce, the extension education. So it is a very holistic. So I feel studying home science would not only help me as an administration, but first as a lady, as a very empowered woman, and where I can balance both the society and my home, so that it holistically in terms of time, money, every
Okay,
way.
can you just tell me, two of that new projects, not new projects, existing projects are run by the government of Odisha, so far as nutrition is concerned.
Yes, ma'am. The already existing was we have this Poshan Abhiyan, and apart from that, there is this millet mission is there, and through Mamata and other Mamata is there, where we are providing the benefit, and also through A&M worker and ASA, we are providing folic acid, for which is helping the nutrition of the already pregnant woman, and for the lactating mother also in ICDS form, that is having the state part, which is having we are providing the nutrition both the lactating and the neonate and the pregnant woman.
Okay. Though you belong to Cuttack, so what's the population of Cuttack?
Currently it is 26 lakh, ma'am, some figure 26 lakh some thousand.
Okay, what is the USP value of Cuttack?
The one thing, or should I have to the filigree work,
Okay.
the Vaichara culture, there's a lot I can tell. We have our own significance of history. There are many important personalities have shaped the.
Just name 2, 3 personalities.
Yes, ma'am. The Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and then Biju Patnaik, sir, Utkal Gaurav Madhusoodan Das, Rama Devi, ma'am, and Malati Chaudhary, ma'am.
Okay, when actually Gandhi visited to Odisha, he named one lady as the Tufani. So who is she?
Yes, ma'am. She named Malati Chaudhary as Tufani was very vibrant and active in her freedom fighters. He named her as Tufani.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tapati, but I don't find any coincidence in your selection of this one. You have opted for Odisha Administrative Service, Finance Service, Revenue Service, Taxation and Accounts, Odisha Cooperative Service. What is that coincidence? Your pharmacology and this,
Landed with this particular service.
The preference or the service?
Preferences.
whatever it may be, what is the coincidence?
So first thing is, as you can see, Odisha Police Service is not there because I'm not matching the vision or the height category, so I'm not updated. And the other Odisha Administrative, then Finance, and then whatever I have chosen, Administration, because I feel the very motive I joined the service was for purpose to unleash my potential in very multi-diverse. And I feel administration, choosing OS as in first preference would, if I score good and if I get an opportunity, I would love to join Odisha Administration Service first. And for other service, like you mentioned, sir, finance and taxation, it has its own significance.
What about this cooperative service? You know something about cooperatives?
Yes, sir. I know something about cooperative society, but it's nothing like it is in my list. That's I'm not interested. It will just little narrow down my opportunity compared to the administrative service. That's the only reason, sir.
What is this called pharmacology?
Yes, so pharmacology is a branch of subject that we study both in medical science and in pharma, which actually deals with it's a mechanism of the product once the drug goes to our body, what body does to our medicine and what the medicine does to our body. That's both pharmacodynamics and kinetics.
Now tell me, during that COVID-19, many people objected to this vaccination, and their argument is that it's a foreign body, foreign substance, why you will unnecessarily introduce to the system, and this one is there. My objection was not for that, but one thing was lurking at my mind, that it is still an emergency authorization use. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
Why it should be made virtually compulsory for people to accept it?
Sir, while I agree with your statement that it was virtually because it has not passed the all phases of clinical trial which is supposed to. But considering the emergency, considering the number of death, considering the safety and efficacy balancing studies that we have already with the existed SARS virus, there we have to, as an administration, when we have to see the bigger picture and we know our body and the immunity and the antibody that it can produce, the entire medical community and from the other observation, we had to have this virtual decision of acceptance so that we can at least save and then proceed. So it was for that reason, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Idris?
Yes, sir. Okay, about sir asked a question and you stated that is it good, like do you agree with that forcing molecules into the throat? And you said that you have a positive note on billions of money being put on research. Recently a scam or an idea that is circulated, news channels were talking about Dolo 650 being prescribed. Thousands of crores was used for marketing.
Yes, sir.
So nowadays, even
is the
for
reason.
that matter, Kalpal or Dolo 650, if we see, it has become like for each and every item, not going to doctor also, but going to doctor also,
You get
it is just prescribed. And how can you justify that ethically? How is it right actually? Like simply like the millions of dollars is put into it. So
Required.
like sir also put that this vaccination. Just because we have found out something, we have put this much money into it. Keep on vaccinating people, give you some or the other medicine, vitamin medicines and all these things. So do you justify that this much of money is needed in research?
Yes, sir. So before answering your question, sir, I just want to. There are two different questions actually, sir. Your initial question, sir. I think I misunderstood the question that putting into the throat. And about the vaccine, I agree with my stand that whatever I explained, that is fine. And currently about the Dolo 65 or whatever other medicine that you're mentioning, ethically we are not 100% correct. That is okay, but I still stand. Okay, there are some institution and some profit makers, like some doctors are going on prescribe this product for their own benefit, but it is not the case everywhere. sometimes we have to see the entire mass of the population and then observe what actually the content, how much actually
So
it
some
is being.
doctors are doing a mistake. Ethically,
Yes,
they are wrong.
So I mentioned ethically they are wrong already.
Okay, what measures can we bring in to stop if you become an IAS officer or OAS officer? What will you do?
Yes, sir. And add on to my administration plus my knowledge in the domain of my core domain of pharmacy. First thing, their license of those particular doctors who are prescribing without there should be an investigation, thorough survey of what are the incidents when where we can actually getting this kind of report. That survey should be first. I'll do that. Then as you mentioned, I'm from the part of patient safety. So whatever the feedback that we're getting from the patient, that should also be considered. And then we can take action like banning their license or giving them periodically check how what kind of patients and actually they are being aggressively giving for their own profit, or it is just a misconception that we're getting the feedback and they're being a bad name for that. So a thorough survey. Then if there some people are finding guilty for that, then there should be their license should be checked and then periodic and regular
So
checkup.
whoever goes beyond the law, that you will be cancelling their license.
If they found guilty for
Okay, fine, fine.
after the
Then
survey.
again, you said Madam asked about this option related one, and you said that you have been expecting that question. You expected that question. How many such questions you have expected? You can brief. Okay.
So very first question I can tell is after such a career of 4.5 years, a very technical domain, why civil service? That was one question I was very expecting. And the second question, it was optional because home science, pharmacy has no relation with geography. So these are two questions I was expecting. Yes.
Okay, fine. Then traveling happens to be, you
A
told
hobby.
that you like it.
Yes, sir.
Apart from Odisha, where all you have traveled?
Yes, sir. I have traveled to Maharashtra because my sister was then.
Maharashtra, where?
Maharashtra, I've started to Pune. There are a lot of trekking I have done. Then Mumbai, then Nagpur in Maharashtra. These three places. I stayed in Karnataka, so I went to Mysore, Ooty, Kannur. Then
Ooty, where is it?
it's in Tamil Nadu, but the nearby places which in
Okay.
Vacant. And then I went to Gangtok, West Bengal. I went to
Gangtok?
sorry, Darjeeling in West Bengal. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry. And then I went
Darjeeling?
to Dalhousie.
Even no, Darjeeling is also not.
Gangtok is in Sikkim.
Darjeeling is in West Bengal, I said, sir. I did not went.
No, she said, no, you
I-
said Gangtok.
I did not
But then
went.
you said, actually she has not gone to Gangtok.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
okay,
going to Darjeeling.
Okay.
Have you been to
Sorry.
Gangtok or not?
No, sir,
No,
I have
okay,
not.
fine.
I just went. And went to
There was
Dalhousie.
a dream. The Gangtok was a dream.
Yeah.
I went to Himachal Pradesh, Dalhousie, very
Okay.
recently, the last trip I did after
Okay.
coming to civil service.
What do you learn by these travels? Be it any travel anywhere. Does it benefit you in your life or personality?
Yes, it does.
How?
So there are many aspects I can think of. First is there's a soul connection of the nature that I get. We actually live in our society, like after academic we went to career, and after career then all other responsibility. We actually do not get time in daily life to explore the nature. And then I get a detachment from the very detachment opportunity from the social media and other thing that actually motivated me. And I have to agree that I explored many other stuffs, like from different people, their language. I'm a very fond of language. I'm very fond of language. So I learned different culture. I explored different cuisine that gives me so vibrant, fresh energy when I reach to different natural. So it's always a plus point. And if I can tell on, there is just
What other languages do you know?
sir, I can understand Telugu. I can speak Bengali. I can understand Kannada also a bit, and Marathi also.
Marathi also. Okay, you can understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. Fine.
What is special today?
So today is the World Pharmacist Day. So
And what is our nation observing today?
it's not getting into my mind currently, sir.
Okay. Recently, Finance Minister has launched Bharat Vidya platform. Can you throw some light on it?
So I have read it, but the nitty-gritties I have not went through, so I'm unable to recall. So
Okay, recently Indian author and poet has won an international award. Uh, uh, can you, do you know who's that person, for what it was given awarded for her very recently?
So again, I
Okay, you're going to become an administrator. If you join as an administrator, what are the first three things you want to bring a change? What do you think that you want to change? Three things.
So first thing I see here, if in my Odisha state, we have a lot of resource, but there is no outcome. So I just want to identify the resource utilization part, first thing. Second is the condition of the health infrastructure, and then the education and employment part. These are the three things which is coming to my mind.
Don't you think that resource is there, but it is not only underutilized, or sometimes also it is overutilized? It is not properly well, balanced way it is distributed.
My mom agree to this. Some area it has been overutilized, and but maximum of it is underutilized. We have lot of resource. We are not adequate, and the exact way of utilizing resource that has not been done in
In
our
a
state.
geopolitical way, there's a phrase called resource curse. Have you heard about it?
I feel in my higher study I have heard it in one of the lesson, but
Yeah, but if you join the administration, there will be challenges. There will be people who will be coming to you with allurements. What you will do? And that comes from directly from a very senior position person from the government.
so honesty and this corruption, this is the first thing which comes to my mind is I'll never entertain at any condition, be it any position, be it any family, be it any circumstances. The very purpose I'm joining the civil service, that would be contradict to this ethics. So I will straight away will be restrained from such activity. And if you ask me like how to deal with as you mentioned a very senior post or something, I have my own academic and the administrative ethics. So for that time, I'll check the situation. How can I get out of that? But at any cost, I'm not going to accept that. So,
What she
Okay.
is not going to accept. Okay. What is it that you don't accept?
so allurement he mentioned.
Allurement, you
Yeah.
won't accept. Huh? Actually, suddenly I remembered Cavalier
Got it.
Cavalier
What did he say?
corruption.
Yeah.
That
Samadam Danda Beda.
policy, and he also mentioned that you can't expect a fish which swims in water not to drink the water. So, how is it possible? Like, I will not accept your saying. And I don't think, personally, I'm saying, I don't
Correct.
think that's a practical thing. Somewhere we would be corrupt. And how are you so deterministic in this?
Yes, sir. So there is a way of seeing things personally. It is my own purpose when I'm joining. So as you mentioned, Kautilya, Samadama Danda Veda. So it is his policy of state policy of being justice and giving good governance. But he doesn't. It's a way of interpreting that you're telling ki Samadana Danda Veda means any condition you have to do and give justice. But there is always a way. When you're very determined and you know there is always a way to get out
So
of.
you define corruption and you are going to be not corrupt according to that
Yes,
definition.
and as you mentioned, practically it is
so
not.
according to Prevention of Corruption Act.
Yes, that is part of
So
my
you will define
administrative.
corruption, then you will say I won't be corrupt.
No, sir. As I mentioned, that is whatever the administrative ethics and the law in the first order, I will take the help of it and I will get out of it.
About ragging, actually, you have
Anti-ragging.
anti-ragging committee. When in India we had a anti-ragging law for the first time.
Sir, as far as I remember, it was started in during my college year. I was aware about it. That there is some
When were you
committees
in
being launched.
college?
I was in my graduation role and
I
Yeah.
thought when you were there.
from 2011 to 15 I was there. So.
Okay, that was there. In India, when it was brought, I'm asking. Anti-corruption, anti-ragging law.
So I'm unable to recall the exact year. I'll read more about it, sir.
Just to add to that, see, we call it anti-ragging, vigilance department. Do you think all these words which are, pre-British or British is current in terms of good governance? I have personally felt that we should not have a vigilance and anti-corruption department. We should have a good governance department. Similarly, anti-ragging. When they say anti-ragging, the focus is on ragging.
Yes, sir.
So is it not possible to think differently in terms of these things?
Yes, absolutely, sir. The current government, we can see the better example. We are always giving every effort to get out of that colonial mindset. It is in our language, it is in our the scheme name, it is in our road, it is everywhere. So we can absolutely think about it and give a very, as you mentioned, good governance. Such type of good and anti-colonial word we can influence.
Okay, last question. Just give a brief idea of geographical information systems.
So geography, as we study, it is in and around the study of the world. The earth is known as geo and the graphy is the study. So geographical system means studying the topography, the terrain, the vegetation, the forest, their economic resource, their utilization, the demography study, then the disaster, the environment part. So it is a very holistically and other information, geographical information when you give particularly for any region.
Okay.
My last two questions I have for you. You have mentioned cycling. What is special about cycling? Because today cycle has become more costlier than the motorcycle.
Something, yes, true.
What is special? How can you promote cycling? And what in a country like India, cycle is our main thing, but now cycle has become more costlier than the motorbike. So how do you feel, if you become an officer, what steps you will take to promote health and cycling? And
Yes, sir.
what will be that impact of that?
Yes, sir. So cycling is my personally, it is as you mentioned the very first question, how it is helpful and what is the significance and all. It has immense, but people are not aware actually, that is the point. If I mention, I have to quote, even in the Smart City project in my own state, we have this More Cycle flagship program. But as you mentioned, it did not implement it well and we cannot get the result as a successful program. Cycles were there, but sometimes our own citizens' attitude, people have stolen. And then government part, they have installed it, but the nitty-gritty for the awareness and the penetration to the society, we have tracks in some areas, not everywhere. And if the More Cycle campaign, if I just mention, and as an administrator, as cycling is my, I'll start with myself, sir. If I have to start from my quarter to office, I'll promote that. And all the benefits, because if European countries can do, then India with such population, with such low margin income, and so cycles come with all the ranges. As you mentioned, it is expensive. It is not the case in everywhere, sir.
No,
Maybe
cycle has become very costly now.
So the one I am riding, it is not gear, it's just the pedal. It can come with 5. So that cannot be. And in many schemes also, they have already started in school just to inform the enrollment ratio. The Gangadhar Meher, the Madhyamik scholarship, they started giving to every schools also. So we can give them instead of DBT and other, we can give them. We can directly as an administrator, we all should have their own ambassador, any personality or everybody who is actually promoting. With that also we can do. We can also spread campaign, like I mentioned, marathon. In entire my state, I have never heard that is called cyclothon, but it has a culture in South. I have seen that. Yeah. We can start such initiative also.
Good.
Good. One more question? Or
Yeah, final question to you is that, will democratic decentralization lead to red tapeism or good governance?
It needs to good governance, sir.
How?
So democratic decentralization started from the Chola era, people say, but Chola self-governance. But I have read from mythology and my grandmother said it started from the good governance of the Ramarajya time. So red tapeism, it is when there is a gap in the implementation part. When certain, in the hierarchy, certain representatives are misusing their power. That leads to red tapeism, when the administrative and the executive became more self-centric than the society-centric. But when it is democratic decentralization, that is the biggest key of our India. When we say India as 2047, so democratic decentralization is the key. If it has implemented very well, it will lead to good governance in every state and in every society, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless. Do well.